What to do when your ex blocks you on social media or everywhere. My name is Coach Adrian, love and relationship coach. Delighted to be able to do this new video for you, to our YouTube listeners, and to do this new episode for you, for our podcast listeners. There are times when clients reach out in private sessions and tell me that they have been blocked everywhere. Phone, WhatsApp, social media, even sometimes email. And individuals are panicked because they fear that they're never going to be able to connect with their ex again. And so they tell me, what do I do when I'm blocked everywhere? And the advice that I give to such clients is the same advice that I give to individuals who are unable to communicate with their ex. Ultimately, first and foremost, you need to understand that you cannot make it about you, and you cannot let the fear of never being able to talk to your significant other again get the best of you. Otherwise, you will compound your mistakes. You are going to make it extremely, extremely difficult to rebuild a new relationship because you're going to completely push them away forever. Usually when you're blocked everywhere, it's for one of two reasons. Either, one, you pushed the envelope way too far. You were too needy. You were too desperate. You bombarded your significant other, or you did something that they felt was crossing a boundary, like maybe reaching out to a parent or to a friend or showing up unannounced or taking a plane to go see them. And it is a way for them to protect themselves, to set boundaries because they don't trust your judgment. That is the first type of scenarios that I see most often. The second type of scenario is when your ex is so hurt and triggered that they do this as a way to protect themselves from you. And quite often, it is also a trust issue. They don't trust themselves, they don't trust you, and so they do this as a way of protecting themselves. There's a third bonus, I would say, situation or circumstances that I see quite often is when your ex is trying to trigger a reaction from you. But usually in these types of situations, what will happen is, usually this happens on social media, your ex will block you and then unblock you. Block you and then unblock you. And those situations are to be addressed perhaps in a bit of a different way. If you have pushed the boundaries, if you are in this first type of dynamic where your significant other is blocking you because you have overwhelmed them, what you want to do is to let time kind of run its course. You want to be able to take a long-term approach. You want to be able to work on yourself, to regain control over your emotions, and to show that you are not going to overstep those boundaries and do anything crazy. The more time passes, the more you're able to build new habits, the more you're able to be consistent, the likelier you are to be able to rebuild a relationship and to reopen up those lines of communication down the road, either because they have unblocked you or because you're going to find an alternative way to connect with them. Again, we don't want to force the issue. We want to be more conservative than ever because the next mistake may be the last mistake. In these types of situations, you really have to be very cautious and to respect your partner's boundaries, to respect your ex's boundaries. Ultimately, they need to also value you. You need to also value yourself. And so we don't want to force the issue. In the second type of situation where perhaps trust has been broken and your ex is trying to set those boundaries because they're easily triggered by you, it can be beneficial to send an accountability letter. Make it short. Make it concise and to the point. Give a small rational explanation as to why you made certain mistakes, acknowledging the root cause of the issue and how you are going about addressing it, but then quickly pivot to a more uplifting, optimistic message, emphasizing what you are going to cherish from the past, restating both at the beginning and towards the end of the letter that you want them to be happy, even if it's not with you and you've accepted the decision for them to break up. You're willing to give them their space, and you're doing this as a way to both acknowledge your wrongs, respect their boundaries, and also to kind of set them free. And doing that will enable your significant other to hear your apology, to see that you are no longer coming in the way of what they want, while at the same time laying the foundation to reconnect in a healthy way. Again, it may take more time than you want it to, but in situations where you're blocked everywhere, or in a situation where your significant other just does not want to re-engage with you, you have to be patient and you have to continue to showcase to yourself, to those around you, and eventually to your ex when they're willing to communicate and to connect or to see that you are flourishing without them. Like Coach Alex likes to say, you have to sell your life. You have to really be so proud of the changes that you've been able to make, the goals that you've been able to reach. You're living with purpose and you're sharing that joy with the world. And that enables you to reconnect in an organic way with your significant other, who will want to partake in that joy, who will want to understand if this transformation is real and how you've been able to go about doing those things, and they're going to want to take part in that new beginning. Lastly, if your significant other is playing games, blocking, unblocking you, I recommend that you don't play those games. Don't try to get their attention and their validation. Let them be the one to do the work to connect with you. Let them be the one to seek reassurance and validation, and show them that you're above those games, that you are confident, self-assured, and that you don't need to really get that short-term validation or to try to make them jealous. Ultimately, relationship is built on a foundation of trust. And we don't want to erode that trust by trying to just get a short-term reaction out of your significant other or out of your ex. The point of this video is that just because you're blocked everywhere at this moment does not mean that all hope is lost. Does not mean that you should despair. On the contrary, more than ever, be patient, focus on what you can control, continue to progress on this path of personal transformation, and doors will open along the way when the time comes. This is Coach Adrian thanking you for fighting the good fight. You have resources at your disposal. We have tons of content. We are trying to find different ways to continue to support you on your journey. So please continue to fight the good fight, and see you soon on Love Advice TV for more awesome content. Take good care and see you soon.